Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host, Chantel and Francis. Wiping my tears away after this episode of The Challenge. Season 38. Matthew is here co-hosting with me. Matthew, what are your overall thoughts of this effing episode?
A lot of tears, a lot of laughs. I thought this was the best episode of the season, and I'm just very happy that I can stand Jay and Michelle again.
I don't know if I stand them yet.
They redeemed themselves, to me at least.
I don't know if they redeem themselves because they're still kind of snaky in my way, in my like how, like, I feel like they made obviously the right decision. I just own your friggin' decisions. You know what I mean? Just be like, listen, we're not playing together. I made deals with some people. I'm honoring those deals, and I'm not honoring my deal with you. I just wish they would just stand up a little bit more behind the decisions that they make, because that's why I just can't get behind them. But what they did tonight was it ended up in a really great episode.
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely, like they could have owned their shit more. I came in with, when they won, I had low expectations. I honestly was very scared for Darrell and Veronica. I thought it was just going to be the easy thing. Darrell and Veronica were going to end up being thrown in. They were going to go home, and it was going to be another wasted week. So the fact that the outcome was pretty perfect for them really did wonders for me. I don't think they're long for the game still. And from everything we saw tonight, probably not long for the game. But the fact that they did make that move tonight somewhat redeems that last week's very poor decision making.
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, if their master plan was to make a better story edit for themselves so that they'll be called back by the producers and the casting, I think they did that. Like, no matter what, I thought that they would be called back anyways, but I do think that this solidifies them as being someone that they might make messy decisions, but they are going to make some interesting TV with all the repercussions of whatever they decide to do. So I think that's a win for them in general. The only thing that I don't like about this episode is that I think maybe I would have preferred for the other team to stay. I think, for drama's sake. I know we're hearing that, Jordan, he's vengeful and he's going to come back for them, but is he going to be that much good TV? I don't know. I just feel like Laurel might be better good TV.
Yeah, the one thing I was thinking throughout the episode is maybe the only thing I would have done different is just put Nani and Bananas in the elimination. Just like nominate them. Don't give them and Casey and Kenny the opportunity to save each other. Like put Nani and Bananas in. They're already going to be pissed. Like, they're pissed that you put in Casey. I mean, ultimately, I don't mind it that much. They kind of pissed off everyone, so there's no wrong way to go about this. But I think maybe that would have been even better TV.
I think it might have been. Well, I think that they should, if they wanted to cause like less, I mean, they're already caused a lot of waves, but if putting in maybe Casey and Kenny into the mix and then still pretend like, well, we're just trying to give you the chance to save yourself, Nani. Like, we don't want you to go in necessarily. And then potentially having them have to go against them would have been kind of hilarious.
Yeah, that would have been amazing. I mean, the only con of the episode is once Nani and Bananas pull the safe sword, like there's no intrigue there anymore. It flips to another commercial. Like, we know, I mean, right when they pull it, you know what's going to happen. So
yeah,
that would be the only kind of downside. But other than that, I thought it was a pretty perfect episode. I'm honestly happy that Jordan and Anissa are.
It's all fine, of course.
Yeah, I prefer Anissa and Jordan staying over Laurel and Jack. But
really,
I mean,
Jack is so funny.
Yeah,
like his confessionals are really hilarious.
I'm really liking Jordan this season. I think like the redemption arc and like the snarky Jordan tonight, it's been a hit for me. And I mean, Jordan's had his issues in the past, but I think like he's really trying to get away from all that. And it's working for me, at least. I don't know about you if you're liking Jordan this season, but
I am. I really want to see skull flipping Jordan for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if that's what we're gonna get in return is that version of Jordan, I'm definitely down.
Yeah.
I guess like the reason why I wanted Laurel and Jack to stay is just because I find Jack really funny in his confessionals. They're so snarky, and I just wanted to see Laurel a little bit longer. Like I know that they didn't really get their footing, they didn't really get any power. They kind of were in a bad position, sort of, that they couldn't really get themselves out of. And so I just wanted to see Laurel play a little bit longer. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah, definitely. And I hope it's not another situation where like we don't see Laurel again for 3-4 years. Like I hope she sticks around for the next couple seasons.
/ maybe she'll bounce over to All Stars and just go win that. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
she would dominate that.
Right? It's like,
Yeah.
like she's old enough, right? Like I support her. She's like 37, 38. You can pop over to All Stars. I'm down.
I mean, Kayla was there, so
No,
Laurel
I mean,
definitely fits in.
No, I mean, yeah, exactly. Like she definitely fits into my version, because I think that
Yeah.
they should be 35 plus to play on All Stars. Personally, that's my vibe. We have some friends joining us, of course. Willie is here.
Hey,
Hello,
Willie.
Also, Hollis, the girls need to stay away from Messy Fessy.
Kiss of death.
I wrote that in my notes. Hold on. Where did I write that? I wrote, hold on. Where is this? I'm like, I said somewhere like, like, Laurel needs to stay away from Fessy because he's going to send her home. Where did I write that?
My last notes is Fessy is the kiss of death. I mean, 2 weeks in a row. Even the week before, he had some sort of flirtation with Annalise, allegedly. So, I mean, Michelle is the last one standing. So does that mean she's gone next?
She's
gone.
She'll be gone. I don't
soon.
know about next, but soon.
Yeah.
If it was next, that would be hilarious. Like really, the curse of Fessy. So I put Fessy peeping game with Laurel. I'm like, and then he's saying in this confessional, not trying to be messy. And I'm like, but for some reason, it wasn't actually bothering me that he was actually like having this flirtation thing happen. And then I'm like, I'm worried because the curse of Fessy might mean that Laurel is going to go.
Yeah.
Literally wrote that down. Willie's also was scared of this. Yes. Man.
Yeah, Fessy, if I'm one of the women in the house at this point, I am definitely staying away from Fessy for the next few weeks.
Are there any single women? Like
I mean, Nerys, I guess.
Well, that's another thing, though. We were basically tipped off that Jordan was coming back because we hadn't seen that scene yet. You know what I mean? Where I don't know who was sneaking into whose bed, but we know that there's something that goes on between Jordan and Nerys. So that was kind of like,
I honestly, I didn't even think about that. I was not surprised, but I didn't really know what was going to happen. But I mean, with stuff like that, sometimes they just show it at the end of the season, like in the reunion, for like the shit they should have showed, like if there's any sort of romance. But yeah, I think something with Jordan would likely make air. So yeah, I'm glad I didn't remember that while I was watching the elimination.
Well, I did remember that, and then I was thinking, like you, I was like, well, or maybe they'll just show like a flashback scene or something like that with Nerys being like, oh, it's just getting to know Jordan, and then we'll see a flashback scene. I'm like, maybe, but I was questioning that just because I'd seen that scene, and then also seeing with Nerys saying something goes on between them. So we hadn't seen anything of that. I felt that when we see that would be when Tori wasn't going to be in the game anymore. So I'm assuming that Tori's going to be eliminated before Jordan, so that there's an opportunity for them to be canoodling, unless it's undercover, like seriously undercover. So who knows?
Yeah, or unless there's a major falling out with Jordan and Tori. But I mean, they seemed pretty chummy tonight in the last couple weeks.
Like when they were leaving the zone, she was like hugging his arm, like, oh my god, like
something's going on there for sure.
So MV is here from the future. She's like 6 hours, 5-6 hours in the future. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Taylor. Hi, all. Michelle and Jay are truly playing to survive at this point. This is true. At least they played this week as smartly as they could to nominate vets. Absolutely. They nominated people that they should have nominated. I just want them to own it a little bit more, because it just doesn't feel good. You know what I mean? Like I want to be like, yeah, you did a good move. Like own it, be hardcore, be badass, being like, sorry, man, we're not working together. So I'm not going to whatever, you know, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I mean they're definitely playing it like week by week at this point, but
Mhm.
I mean at the same time it is the challenge. It's like yeah, most likely 75% of the house wins. Like they're going into elimination, but they can still win an elimination. It's not like Jay and Michelle are easily beatable in an elimination. I mean, we've seen Jay have success in a few different things. I think Michelle won an elimination last year, so
Sorry.
I mean, yeah, throw Jay and Michelle in against Amber and Chauncey. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that Amber and Chauncey win, barring anything physical. I mean, I actually think Jay and Michelle would be favored in anything other than like pure physical elimination against them.
So MV is saying, thanks, Michelle, for showing these entitled vets that they are not getting a free ride. Absolutely. Nobody wants them to get a free ride. But the one thing, though, is that I don't think that any of these rookies would be able to have beat any of these vets now seeing how they're performing. And I think the only way to actually take them out was putting them up against each other. And so I do think that Laurel and Jack would have beat most of the other players. Like, I just think that they came up against Jordan, who's like,
Yeah,
just
Jordan's
so
a
good.
freak. And Anissa was really good tonight as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, both of them are very historically great in eliminations. So uh, yeah, Laurel and Jack could have beaten most teams. I think, I mean, in terms of rookies, obviously Horacio and Olivia stand out. So that's kind of the only team I'd look at. And again, I feel like Olivia and Horacio's role the rest of the season is going to be as that kind of weapon to take out threats or try to take out threats. So,
yeah. MP says they know that they're not going to stay for long, so they made sure to cause more chaos. That's true. That's what I was saying in the beginning, was that, like, you know, this is getting their ticket back to another season because, like, they're willing to do it for the viewers, you know?
Absolutely.
Hi, Jessica. So Jessica says the issue with Jay and Michelle, mostly Michelle, is that they throw people in and then they seem to want people to be okay with it, just standing your decision. Exactly. I think like wanting people to make you feel better about a decision, make you feel better. So like you're putting me in, but then you want me to make you feel better about the decision that you make. No, sit in it. That's your decision. You did what you wanted to do for whatever reason. I'm not going to make you feel good about it. And like that is what the problem that I have, I think, with Michelle. It's like, don't make people try to make you feel better about the shit move that you made to them, you know?
Yeah.
That's just me, though. Casey and Furniture is still on the season. Yes. Yes.
I was thinking throughout the episode that they were going to go home. Just like this spike in like visibility, they were showing them a lot in like workout clips. So like, okay, maybe they don't want to give us confessionals because they're so boring, but we are seeing more of them. And then there was all that talk, like Nani saying, if my girlfriend goes home, like you're dead. And I was like, oh man, Casey is going to somehow go home. Like maybe Laurel pulls the sword, sends Casey in, Casey goes home. That would have been so epic.
I thought that crossed my mind for sure, that like, because I felt that definitely Laurel was going to save Bananas and Nani. So if that was the case, like that would have been savage, because I do think that Laurel would have beat. I know that, well, do you know what, like Casey's really strong. I just don't know how good Kenny is at defense.
Yeah, I feel like Laurel and Jack would have had that against Casey and Kenny.
Like Casey was definitely good at catching balls and throwing balls on Big Brother, and like I think she's a rugby player, so she probably would be good at throwing. But I feel like Kenny would have been worse at defending than Jack would be.
Yeah,
personally, I think.
Yeah.
Willie, I agree here. Michelle always wants to talk to people after she throws them in and people see through her. I know she's a snake. Kinda. Like, just be the snake. It's fine. It's okay. I don't mind you being a snake. Just don't make me have to make you feel better about it. Just be it. Just own it. Okay, let's talk about this episode. So, kind of tipped off again that it was going to revolve around Michelle in some way, because it was Come Michelle or High Water was the episode title. Why can't they have a little bit less sus titles? Like,
yeah, it's like, you know, either they're gonna go into elimination or win the daily. It's like nothing else is really gonna happen there. So yeah, you know, Jay and Michelle are gonna be a focal point.
Yes, absolutely. And it's just like, I could think of many different names that could be quite good that would not tip off who is going to be the complete focal point of this episode.
Yeah.
So they need to go back to the drawing board with that, or like hire somebody new, because that person is not very good. Remember even the Olivia one? Like, they're just all the time, like the next episode is going to have that person. So if they're in elimination, they're sticking around because the episode title is about them. So I don't know why they're not a little more cryptic.
Yeah, or at least like throw us off and like name the title, like Kenny's going home, and then he's not even in the episode. He's just fully safe, and then it's a normal episode. But...
please. So Michelle's anxiety at the beginning of this episode is a 10 out of 10. We see Laurel and Jack walking into the house, and I see Olivia hugging Laurel. And one thing that we didn't see that much up until this point is that Laurel does have the support of a lot of people in the house, including rookies. A lot of people really liked her. And I was listening to a majority of the official challenge podcast, and Michelle was saying that a lot of the rookies were like, no, like, I don't want to throw Laurel in. No, like, Laurel, like, I'm good with Laurel. Like, no, I'm working with Laurel. And so I wish they would show us a little bit more of that, because a lot of people were coming down on Laurel for not having this relationship with Michelle, but she seems to have all these relationships with these other people. So what happened there with Michelle is my question.
Yeah. I mean, there was some speculation that, they both had some sort of flirtation with Fessy. Maybe that played a part. I don't really believe that, but it is weird to think that Laurel, who's kind of notorious for being like an intimidating force, is now getting along with everyone, but not Michelle, who is, for all we know of Michelle, a very friendly, sociable person. So kind of weird that she would be the one on the outside. So definitely something there that we're not seeing. Maybe it'll come up in the reunion down the road.
Maybe. Well, this is another thing, though, that Michelle did that was so silly, in my opinion, is that we learned that she was the only person cheering for Kim and Colleen. I get it. I'm sure you wanted Kim and Colleen to come back to make your life easier. Absolutely. But maybe not cheer for them, just cheer for nobody.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't look great.
Yeah. I mean, you never want to be cheering against the whole house. It's kind of the worst thing you can do. So just either cheer for who everyone is cheering for, or just stay quiet. Never hurts to stay quiet there.
So we get a club scene right at the beginning of the episode. I was like, okay, just offsetting format here. I like this. We see that Anissa is complimenting Jordan completely on how amazing that he is. And I got a little bit teary-eyed because they're just talking about how, Jordan saying like having a disability, and people would think that would hold him back, but it actually was something that propelled him to move forward. And he hopes that, it will inspire somebody that has something that's holding them back, that it actually use that as an opportunity to propel them forward. So I thought it was a touching moment. And they both are speaking about in their confession about being the role model that they never saw, or the person that they could look up to that they didn't have in their life growing up. And so it was kind of a touching moment.
Yeah.
Nani and Johnny also having a heart-to-heart here. And then Johnny does say something about come hell or high water. And I was like, okay, that's half the episode title. Why couldn't they just say come hell or high water be the episode title without having to throw in the Michelle pun?
Yeah. I mean, good enough title as is. Yeah. It's in the episode, so it makes sense.
Like, man, these people. It's so silly. Laura and Mariah, this is not at the... sorry, just kidding. Jack is... so after the club, Jack is exercising the next day, and then Jay shows up. And Jay was doing, I think, a good job with trying to, like, make Jack laugh to kind of just, like, cut the tension and, like, get back to how they were. But I don't think it's going to work with Jack. Like, no. Jack was pretty pissed, and I guess the way that Jay does it, he does it in like a smug way that it just doesn't feel good to just allow him to like get one up on you like that. Like he keeps on being like, oh, it's a game. But then he kind of brings in like personal, and I don't know. I'm not really vibing personally with how Jay is kind of handling the game inside and outside the house.
Yeah, I think it's kind of been his reputation the last couple seasons too, and maybe he's playing into it a bit. But I I don't know. I actually kind of liked Jay this episode. Not so much the conversation with Jack, but I liked the way he handled things with Jordan later on. I
Really?
liked that I really did. And then I also liked how he tried to kind of like talk Michelle down, like off the
Yeah.
ledge a little with kind of letting her know, like, hey, this is a game. Like like, yeah, it's emotional, but it is a game. Like we have to do these kind of things. And it's like, finally, Jay, like you're making the moves and like you're not letting your partner make these bad moves for you. So I don't know. I guess I had a different read on Jay there. I thought the scene with Jack was kind of like fun. And yeah, trying to make light of the situation, and obviously didn't work too well, but I don't know. I kind of enjoyed Jay tonight.
Well, there's a couple moments where Jay was okay, but I just feel there's a few times that he pissed me off. So I'll let you know when they come off. I'm just kind of like, oh man, you're fucking annoying. Laurel and Mariah, since when are they friends? But who knew? They're talking about Horacio, and Laurel's pretty into Horacio, and I'm wondering if this kind of was the downfall of her game, that we've never really seen Laurel not get the guy on the show. Unless I'm misremembering. She's always really been able to just like kind of be with whomever she's wanted to be with, always being like the top girl, like feared, wins eliminations. Like it was this episode was definitely a new side of Laurel that we were seeing. And it was interesting because this new side of Laurel, a little more emotional side of her, couldn't get the win in the end.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely don't recall ever seeing Laurel cry or be emotional in any of her previous seasons. I mean, we've seen her get angry. We've seen like the fierce competitor side of her for sure. But I mean, on multiple occasions tonight, it's like we saw her in tears. Like we saw the softer side of her, which I personally like really loved seeing. I mean, it's nice to see people come back after a few years and they have changed. That's kind of what this whole show's about. So that's why I love when they bring back a Teresa, Laurel, whoever comes back after a few years. Like, let's see how these people have changed since we saw them as like these a-holes when in their early 20s. So yeah, that's something I really appreciated about Laurel being part of this cast.
I hope she comes back for 39. Please,
Yeah.
Laurel. Please. I know you're like a doctor now, but like, come on, you still got the challenge in you.
Yeah,
Still,
she's got to, maybe not 39, but she's got to be back soon. She can't leave us hanging for another few years.
no, no, no. So she moves out of her room with Horacio because she finds out that Horacio has a girl that he was dealing with, speaking to outside of the house. I guess he has intentions of maybe going back with this person, and Laurel didn't really take this well. She doesn't want to get hurt. And I'm just like, I'm putting like stars beside Laurel crying in confessionals. I'm like, what's this? What's happening? Who's this? It was fine. It was soft. It was sweet. I cried with her because I don't know. She just has a big heart, and I think that she's a lot of the times misunderstood. And usually the anger and the kind of like that aggressive side is Teflon to protect her heart and protect her from being hurt by people. And so seeing her heart little like kind of broken, it was sweet
Yeah,
Laurel.
yeah, the old Laurel. I mean, we've seen her in situations where, I mean, with her ex Nicole on the show, and then with
Oh
her
God, I
feuds with
forgot about that.
yeah, so with Nicole, then we saw with some fights with Cara Maria when they were good friends, that kind of fell apart. Like we've seen Laurel in situations where most people would break down, and she would always put up that front, that like the hard exterior where it's like, yeah, I'm like zoned in on the game. I'm just gonna like smash heads right now, and that's all I'm thinking about. And yeah, maybe the softer side of her like didn't allow her to do that anymore. And even in the elimination, or just before the elimination, she even referenced that sort of. She said something along the lines of, I'm not good when everyone's cheering for me and they want me to win. Like everyone loves me. And maybe I need people to not love me. Maybe I need to be angry to win these eliminations. And maybe there's something to that. But I personally, I much prefer this kind of softer side, this more versatile Laurel.
I mean, I need both. I definitely need both.
Well, we got both for sure.
Yeah, last week I needed to see that Laurel, and this week I needed to see this version, but I wish it didn't take her out of the game. I wish we got to still see more sides of Laurel. We see Horacio talking to Olivia, and Horacio does really care for Laurel. He's kind of feels bad that he's hurt her in any sort of way, and he wants to give her time and some space. And I'm thinking, like, no girl ever really wants you to give them time and space. Like, they want you to make them feel better right now. Like, that's the wrong answer. But he's only 24, so he probably doesn't get that yet. But like, you know, if she's moving out of the room, she definitely wants you to chase her. Like, definitely.
Yeah.
Horacio. But he doesn't want to lose her as his friend. She's his best friend in the house. And at this point, I'm like, you know, we're starting to see who is going to be involved in this episode. So I'm like, oh boy, it's probably gonna be Laurel and Jack again. It's probably.
And just some exciting news here. I just got a notification that Bananas just dropped a podcast with Laurel as the guest. So
yes,
something to listen to tomorrow.
Absolutely. I'm flying tomorrow, and they took away all of like we used to do so many different services, and they stripped it down to the bare bones. So I'm gonna have like 6 hours to like do nothing. So I'm gonna download that pod for sure and listen to it on the plane.
There you go. I'm sure we'll find out a lot more tea.
I'm excited because they're best friends, and like I need to hear even more about like I just want them to be really incredulous, and like I want to hear them. Mm-hmm. So Jessica says Jack is entertaining, but I think it's more likely for Anissa and Jordan to win a daily. Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Jordan can win anything any week, so definitely think they're more likely to win. Now, in terms of winning this season, that's another story. I wonder, I think maybe Laurel and Jack would be more likely to actually win the season. Mm-hmm. But to win dailies and kind of be able to make big moves, definitely Jordan and Anissa would be more likely, I think.
Oh my gosh. Are we going to get Jordan and Anissa versus Jay and Michelle? Is that what we're going to get, do you think?
I don't think so. I don't think Jordan is gonna I don't think he'll volunteer like he did with Bananas back in the day. And it would be kind of hard. Like, what would be the situation where those two end up against each other? It's kind of hard to fathom because the sides are kind of aligned in a way where one of them should be safe.
Right. It could be with like who's like Fessy's scared of Jordan. Yeah, but maybe he wouldn't do that to Anissa.
Maybe Nelson if he were to win. No, I don't think Nelson would put in Jay and Michelle. Yeah, I mean, maybe Bananas and Nani win and they put Jordan and Anissa in.
Not yet, but maybe
maybe in a couple weeks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Willie loves Laurel and is really sad that she went. She's the best female competitor in the game. I do think she's the best female competitor this season, but maybe I don't think the partnership was not that Jack was bad, but I don't think it was as dominating like of a duo as I was hoping for them to be.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is kind of experience. Like when vet pairs are always going to have a slight edge just because they've been there, they've seen it, they kind of know little tricks. And when these eliminations are such a toss up, like sometimes just like having that little bit of experience can be what puts you over the edge. But I definitely, I think moving forward, if Jack were to ever come back, I could see him doing well. I could see them as a pair doing well down the road. But yeah, I mean, vets will always kind of have a slight edge over vet rookie teams.
Like I kind of want this duo to come back again. But like I don't think that that'll ever be the thing.
Yeah, it would be kind of weird to have them back I don't know what the theme could possibly be, unless they have a massive falling out and it's Rivals 5 or whatever, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah, no, me neither. I hope they do a Rivals or something soon, though. I think they have enough enemies that we could have a good Rivals or X's season.
Yeah.
That would be pretty fun. So down the line is the daily this week. What did you think about this daily? Basically, what they had to do was, as a duo, they are going to race through their color zone. They're going to dig out a bag. The first teammate is going to take that bag and roll out I guess a stopper. And the second partner is going to continue digging to pull out the second bag. These bags are full of letter or puzzle pieces, but letters, and they're going to zip line to the stopper, and then swim the rest of the way to meet their partner on the deck, I guess, and solve a puzzle. And now this puzzle I thought was super easy. It was 5 words pertaining to the season. So what did you think about the daily?
Yeah, I thought it was mostly pretty fun and enjoyable. The one part I thought was kind of pointless was the pulling the lever. It seemed like that didn't matter at all. Like, it seemed like everyone, all the swimmers just got close to the end, swam like 20 feet, and then did the puzzle. So it's like, okay, we just kind of added this part so whoever was pulling it like had something else to do, but really didn't really make a difference there. The first part, like the digging part, was fun. I wish it was just like a straight, like one person swims, the other person does the puzzle or something like that. But yeah, I thought it was okay for the most part. How about you?
I mean, I thought it was okay. I liked most of the components. I didn't like, though, when people had trouble finding the puzzle pieces. Like, that just like annoyed me, that ended up being a problem with quite a few teams. It's just kind of like, I don't know. I just don't find that interesting that someone's just digging a huge hole and they can't find their puzzle pieces. I don't know. I wish if it was like to find it, I don't know, some other way. I don't know, maybe a scavenger hunt. Like, I don't know how to do it differently, but I just was like, in Heat 2, when Casey was still trying to, taking forever, don't give up. Like, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I care about that.
Yeah, I mean, like, why not just do like one person races, grabs one set of pieces, the other person swims, grab the other set of pieces, then do the puzzle? Like, why do you need to dig and have like
maybe dig for the first one, or both dig for both of them? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, maybe just dig for the one. Because everybody seemed to find the first puzzle piece. It's the second one that people had trouble with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, ultimately, it all really just came down to the puzzle anyways, or the word scrambling anyways. So I could always do without like some of the in-between stuff.
Absolutely.
Make it straightforward.
I mean, I didn't really take that many notes about this actual daily because, like, basically what it came down to was who was going to be able to solve these puzzles, these scrambles really quickly. They also, you probably noticed that they had like specific letters that were already on the board to help them be able to solve it. So I thought that this was like on a difficulty level. This was probably like a D plus difficulty. Like, it was not hard at all. I thought it was a very easy 5. Like, they had to put the 5 words were what? Buddy, amigo. What was the other?
I didn't even jot down what the words were.
Neither did I. I thought I'd remember them. I remember them.
But no surprise that the team that won this was the CBS reality stars. MTV, they got the muscles, but the CBS people, I mean, I'm sure Jay and Michelle figured that out in like 30 seconds.
Well, Michelle was saying it was Jay being able to speak Spanish, thinking amigo. I feel like if it's kind of like a crossword puzzle. Like, I would just think that these words would just come pretty quickly. They weren't challenging words, I found. I thought amigo would be something that would roll off of everybody's tongue. Nerys was saying on her live that like 90% of the people on the season spoke Spanish. So the fact that Michelle was saying like, oh, it's because he's a Spanish speaker. I was like, well, Nani's a Spanish speaker. Nerys is a Spanish speaker. I think Nelson even speaks a little bit. Like, it's just interesting that Nani and Bananas couldn't get it together. Did we miss something with what was going on? Like, she and him were not connecting. He was teasing her. She was getting mad at him. Like, Was it just the pressure? What did we miss something? Did something happen?
Yeah, it was really weird. I mean, Nani was very upset, and I think like Bananas was being Bananas, just kind of making light of the situation, like making some jokes, and yeah, Nani was not having it. So I didn't notice anything before that would have kind of triggered this. I mean, she was saying, I just want to like I play to win all the time. It's like, I mean, to be fair, like so does Bananas, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, maybe I don't know if Bananas didn't care about winning this daily. I mean, obviously he should have because he was in some danger there. But yeah, Nani was not happy. One thing I did note is the first heat seemed very stacked. All of like the big teams, the big name teams, were in the first heat, and then the second heat was kind of the like leftovers. No offense to any of them. I mean, there's some strong players there too, but I mean, first heat with Nani Bananas, Jay Michelle, Laurel Jack, Anissa Jordan, Fessel Mariah, Tori Devon. It's like most of the big players right there. So I thought that was, I mean, I know it was random, but kind of funny how that turned out.
So M over here, says Nani showed how entitled she is. Like, girl, nobody cares about your relationship. I mean, I have to disagree with that for the fact that Michelle has been saying to Nani that how much she cares about her and how she cares about her life, and that she knows the reason why Nani's here is she's doing it for her mom. And like they've had some more heartfelt moments outside of this game. And so I think that maybe you don't care about Nani's relationship, but I think that if Michelle's supposed to be the friend that she's claiming to be, like Nani, you're like my sister, like your sister would care about your relationship, and that you wouldn't put her in a position to go up against her life partner in a game where she's playing for her mom. So I mean, I don't think that she was acting entitled. I think that she was pretty irritated by Michelle.
Yeah, I think she was definitely irritated. I think there was a slight overreaction because there was really no way of Nani going against Casey. Yeah, like one of them could have potentially been at risk, but they knew that they were not being voted in by Jay and Michelle. So, I mean, a little bit of an overreaction, but I do understand why Nani would be upset that either her or Casey were potentially at risk.
So Willie thinks that Nani plays with emotions, which is why she never wins a season. She's been pretty close to winning a season. So I mean, she's made the final the last two, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's made the finals the last two.
She
She came
made
in
another
second
final
once.
with Bananas before as well.
Did she? No, she didn't make the finals with
Yeah,
Bananas.
she was. Yeah, wasn't it when
No, they
they
lost
were
just
exes?
before. No, because they lost to Leroy and Teresa.
No, not that time. Sorry, the time when Laurel won. I think didn't she come in?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That she wasn't with Bananas. And I think they ran a heat of the finals together.
Oh, okay,
But yeah, she
right.
came in second to Laurel, and I think that was season maybe I can't remember 25 or something. But yeah, Laurel won just barely over Nani. So Nani has in the past been very emotional, and maybe that's hurt her in some seasons. But I wouldn't say that's the reason she's never won. I think, I mean, a lot of it's luck. She's not the greatest in eliminations, so that
I
hurts
mean, I
for
guess we
sure.
could say maybe last season she let Casey win that because she thought that Casey had a better chance at winning. So that could be an emotional decision that she didn't play for herself. She allowed Casey to beat her so she could run. Casey could end up winning the final with CT. So I guess
Mhm.
that was an emotional decision, but still keeping 500 grand in the family. So I think that she might not have had as much faith that she would be able to do it. And if she had known that she would be able to pick Bananas or CT as her partner, maybe she would have been like, no, can I have this? So we'll
Yeah.
see. But yeah, I don't know if it's her emotions. I don't really find her to be that emotional unless she's like drinking. Like I don't.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, like early season Nani was a different story. I think she's much more mellow now. I know she had a bit of an outburst tonight, but for the
Well, don't
most
we
part,
want that? We want
yeah.
messy Nani. We
Oh
don't
yeah,
want
yeah. I
flatline Casey whispered Nani.
I wonder what Nani would be like if Casey were to go home. If she would just be like
Demon.
raising hell.
Yes.
I really want to see it.
I was hoping that was going to happen tonight.
Yeah. Maybe.
I was like, we don't need Casey there. We need Nani on fire.
Think about Casey seems like she is never at risk of going home. I like in 3 seasons, I don't think I've ever thought she was going home. And I don't, again, like even now, I don't think she's in any real danger.
Like, it's not great when people forget that Kenny and Casey are on the show. I mean, they had a big episode spike this today, but like in general, like I actually, one thing that I did see, I don't know if you noticed it as well, but in the club scene, like we did see Kenny's face playing Jenga with Nelson in a little bit of the club montage. So I was like, oh wow, like we're seeing him play Jenga.
Yeah.
That's kind of
we saw him in like a workout scene as well. He was kind of like in the background or doing some maybe jogging, but they showed him a bit. I don't know if he had a confessional tonight. I can't recall.
Think so.
Casey had a couple, but I don't think Kenny did.
I don't think so either. And I don't even know what he sounds like. I don't know what his voice sounds like.
Yeah. He spoke once when he like entered the room with Casey and Nani and Bananas, but not in a confessional, but that was the first time I recall hearing him speak.
So Willie says that Banana and Nani almost fell apart this episode. They were definitely mad at each other in the daily. I mean, I think that maybe the pressure was getting to Nani. That's the only thing that I can really think of. Like wanting to win so badly and having obviously have gone through what none of us ever want to have to experience. And, you know, coming on this show and then having to deal with Michelle. And I mean, I think maybe the stress of it all, it was just getting to her, because like I just didn't understand why they couldn't just like zip it together and think of 5 words that had to do with friendship. Like,
yeah,
pretty easy.
Yeah, the pressure is definitely there, and like I can imagine Nani probably feels it now more than ever. Like she has this mentality that like she needs to win this season. Like this is her season.
Michelle just went live. I wish I could be taping it.
Yeah, so this is
with Jay. Oh god.
This is Nani's season. Like she has Bananas here. She has all this support from Casey, Fessy, all the friends that she's made over the last couple of years, and like adding on top of that, like her mom just passed. She's playing for her, so I definitely can see Nani is feeling that pressure and like putting some pressure on herself there.
Do you think that Nani is relying on Casey, like Willie's saying here?
I mean, I think to an extent. I mean, Casey certainly helps. Like, I mean, like I just mentioned, she brings in Fessy. So, I mean, she definitely relies on her for some numbers, for some of that social game.
Definitely not power this season. So
yeah, not any power there to this point, but maybe also relying on Casey as like a physical force. I think we're bound for a shakeup soon as well. I mean, there's supposed to be 20 episodes this season, and there's only 10 teams left. So we're on episode 6. So do the math. There's definitely going to be a shakeup pretty soon.
But like, is it just going to be they're going for individual, and then it'll be male, female, male, female, male, female?
The thing about that is, even if they were to do that, we still are running short on episodes. Because that, like, let's say they did that even next week, and there's 14 episodes. There'd be 14 episodes left and 20 people. So that means there'd only be 3 males, 3 females running the final, which is way too low. So there's got to be something. Whether I don't think they'll do a buyback, maybe a non-elimination week or 2.
I thought that they might have done that this week, or I mean, I think we loosely speculated about it last week, but maybe they are all actually didn't go home and they're playing another game that we just did not know about.
I feel like when they've done that in the past, like they've let the audience know, though, right?
But I just like, how is it 20 episodes? Like what can they do?
Yeah, and that's 20 episodes, not including the reunion. So there's a 2-part reunion, which will be 21 and 22. So yeah, there's got to be couple. Oh, you know what? 2-part finale. Even so, it's still pushing it.
2-part finale. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So we need to come up with 18 episodes. So 12 more episodes.
12 more episodes, and there's 20 people left in the game. It's really pushing it. And I feel like if they were switching it up, they would have hinted at the end of this episode or in the preview. So I don't think we're getting that switch up next week.
No.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it could be.
I'm like, what if it's like, okay, in a different way, a different buyback? Like, what if, like, so with all the teams that are gone, they shake up the players, and they're like, when you win the daily, you get to, like, you have to choose a new partner from the people that have been eliminated or something like that, and like maybe that I do that for a couple of rounds. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know
what?
what they could do.
You know what they're definitely going to do? And they do this every season, and it's the worst thing they ever do. The to be continued episodes. Like, it's not going to end on the elimination. There's at least one every season where it just ends like at a daily or at a fight, like a random fight going on. That's going to happen. It's going to be.
It doesn't need to happen on an hour and a half episode.
Yeah. Oh, it will. It will. At least once. My guess is, considering the episode count, we're going to get 2 of those. And I'll be so curious.
Sick.
Yeah. It's going to be.
Them.
I picture it now. Like, Tori and Jordan are going to get in a fight at the club. And it's just going to be continued. Like, come on. Come on.
Oh my God, you're right, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's like 2 more episodes. So we're still needing to find like 10 episodes. How many people did we say were left? 10
There's
people?
20 people left. 10 teams, 20 people left.
So that could be that we go to individual to a final 4, right? Or like final 4 teams, right?
Yes. I'm guessing that at least 5 males, 5 females will make the final.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, I'd say 5 is kind of realistic.
5, maybe 4, but 5.
That's half the remaining cast.
with like 20 episodes to go.
Yeah. I don't. It's gonna be weird. All we know is it's gonna be weird.
I need to know, why are they keeping us in the dark here, especially with the announcement of so many more episodes.
Also,
so
like, why is there 20 episodes? Just
I don't know.
do 12 episodes, 14 at most.
Like 15, fine. Even 18 was too long. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we can't be doing these 22 episode seasons where we're not having elimination episodes. Just cut 2 episodes and give us the eliminations.
I wonder if it's like it has to correspond with like the challenge, like global coming together. Like maybe they're just trying to make things time like that, and so it can overtake the time slot or something. Can we do the quick math? Like, when will this season end? So we're on episode 7 next week, and so is it going to be into the new year? I hate that.
Yeah, I mean, we'd be looking at, a little over 3 months. So we're gonna end probably in early February.
What is happening?
It's wild. And then we'll probably get the World Championship like early March.
Of course. I mean, I like new year, new season. I don't want to be talking about this season 38 in 2023.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we're in November, mid-November. There's only really 6 weeks left this year. So I guess, yeah. It's good. You're right. Mid-February.
It's crazy.
I'm going to have a birthday. Like, oh my gosh. Your birthday is almost going to be there.
Maybe the finale will be on my birthday this year, February 26th.
Oh, you're almost a month after me. A month and a day.
January 25th.
That's me.
Very good.
C'est moi. Okay, maybe it'll be no, I think your birthday's too late. I think it will end earlier than the end.
Well, we do get the 2-part reunion, so we might get a reunion part 2 on my birthday.
Is your birthday on a Wednesday, or are you just hoping right now?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Let me take a
I think my birthday's on a Wednesday. Take a look. Tell me.
Your birthday is on your birthday's on a Wednesday, yeah.
Okay, so we'll have a birthday.
And mine is on a Sunday, actually.
Okay, it's not the same.
Yeah.
Oh, Sophie's February 2nd. Okay, I don't know if that's is that might be a Wednesday. Is it?
Well, you're 1 week after yours, so
Yeah,
it should be a Wednesday.
I think.
Oh no, sorry,
31
that's a Thursday. 31 days in
Right, yeah,
January.
31 days. September, April, June, and November. Anything else about this daily other than like Johnny being a dick and being like, "Do you know what a vowel is?" Like, I'd punch you in the dick. I think.
Yeah.
You want to be a dick? I'm gonna punch you in the dick.
Yeah, honestly, like I was just super excited about the outcome. Like seeing like Jay and Michelle won the first heat, like pretty excited for the chaos of that. And then second heat, Olivia and Horacio won. Super excited to see that happen because I was hoping they would get into power, see what they would have done. But either way, I was thinking like, okay, Jay and Michelle can't get any worse than last week. So as long as they don't,
Yeah, because they don't have
fuck
Kim and
over-
Colleen to vote in there, so they can't be worse.
yeah, like the only thing they could have done is put in Veronica and Darrell, which I was worried about. But apart from that, like there was no wrong decision really. And they the only thing I was worried about was Veronica, Darrell. Don't put them in. If you put them in, they're gonna end up going home. Everyone's gonna be pissed. It's gonna be a waste of a week.
Oh my God, Austin, you're onto something. Last season, they had a couple episodes. They were just an hour. Those are going to be those to be continue ones.
Yeah, it's possible. Likely.
They're probably going to be like, it's probably just, you know what? Maybe they're just going to make them all an hour and all to be continues for the next 3 months.
They also had one episode last year where Amanda beat Big T in an elimination, and then Big T got brought back in, I think, at the very start of the next episode. So it was basically a waste of a week.
Why did that happen though? Someone went home though, no? What happened? Why did that happen again?
Did someone quit last season or get DQ'd?
Oh, no, Ashley got DQ'd.
Oh, yeah. So Ashley left, and then they brought Big T back. And then it was like, oh, Amanda, pick your team because you won the elimination. It's okay. Like, and we have to see. They're gonna go individual soon. It's a foregone conclusion. I think at this point, like everyone can kind of sense that's coming. If people didn't sense that's coming, just kind of brace yourself for that because it's definitely happening.
Willie says this season has been an hour and a half. Yeah, well, we know that it's been an hour and a half, and it usually is an hour and a half, but Matthew is right. Last season, there were a couple, at least one that I can remember specifically that was an hour long. We're just trying to figure out how they have enough footage and people to be able to have that many episodes. We're just trying to figure out what can they do, and what they can do is shorten it to an hour long to be continued episodes. Like that's just what they could do. Unless that could they do like double episodes, so like 2 1-hour episodes back to back, and that could eat up some episodes,
and then just call it 2 episodes.
Yeah,
maybe like do a 2-hour slots. I would still imagine that would just be one elimination,
right?
Which is fine. Like I'd rather that than wait a full week and have the elimination at the start of an episode. Those are always the worst.
Why hasn't people figured out that that's terrible? They do it on all these reality shows, and I'm like, it doesn't work. It's not good for this type of format, this type of show. They do it for The Bachelor. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I want to just have a full, complete episode and send these damn people home. Like, I don't want you to like, hold off on the rose ceremony because like you're gonna show me it at the beginning of the episodes. Like, I hate that. I hate not having a complete episode. So
yeah,
I wish they would stop that personally.
Oh yeah, they need to stop it. The worst I can remember is when they did it on All Stars, when it's like a streaming service. There's 8 episodes or whatever, and it's like right before the final. All right, Derek, you're going in against Nehemiah. What's going to happen? They grab the poll, and then it says to be continued. Like, come on, you just hyped up this pole wrestle. We've been waiting like years to see Derek and Nehemiah. And now we got to wait a week when there's only 8 episodes. We have to deal with the whole final next week. So please stop. Just lower the episode count.
Stop. Or like they have enough footage. They could make another episode. Just do something. Holy cow. Look who the cat dragged in. It's Michelle. How are you, Michelle? We are only at the end of the daily. So just give us your immediate thoughts because you're probably fresh.
I mean, yeah, it's really fresh right now. I would say for the first half, I mean, I actually wrote notes this time. I'll have to look at that. But I usually don't. I feel so many feelings right now. But the daily fight points for Bananas and Nani.
Right?
Right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Um,
Yeah, I think it's me.
I was so sure that Olivia and Horacio had gotten it. It just seemed like they did it so much faster.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that was just editing, but I was so tense this episode, even though like at the end, we'll get to that, but it was so obvious at the end because of all the previews, so that kind of bothered me, but that's okay.
Oh, wait, what do you mean by the previews?
Like the previews that we keep seeing.
Right, that's what I was saying. Matthew said he didn't remember, but I was saying like I was kind of had an idea that Jordan and Nisa were going to win for the fact that we hadn't seen the scene where Nerys and him are in bed together at some point.
Yeah.
And so go ahead.
Also, Tori on Bananas podcast said he gets his revenge. So I was like, we haven't seen the hookup yet, so he's got to get his revenge.
I listen to all these podcasts. Like I've seen the previews, but I feel like I can somehow just like do a good job of blocking it all out.
Yeah, that's what I should have done.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, like even watching the elimination, like it didn't even cross my mind that's like we haven't seen Jordan and Nerys yet. So I was like not 100% sure Jordan and Anissa were gonna win. So I was happy kind of watching it all unfold. So hopefully next week, if they're in danger again, I don't remember that we're having this conversation right now.
Okay, so also, Michelle, we were just speculating about how on earth is there going to be 20 episodes? We're on episode 6 right now, and we have 10 teams left.
I will tell you exactly why, because they're not going to be partners the whole way.
Okay, fine. So
they're going to separate.
That's a guarantee.
They're going to separate into every man for himself. And also,
how is that going to relate to the teams? You know what I mean?
It might be that
maybe they stay with, sorry, I took you off. Maybe they stay with their partner, but only a male or female elimination. So maybe
exactly. And then they can extend those episodes, make the elimination till the next episode.
Well, we just talked about that.
And there's also, keep in mind, there's a reunion for this season as well.
No, that's episode 21, 22.
Yeah, there's 22, inclling the reunion, which is
so there's 10 more teams and there's 10 more episodes?
No, 13 more episodes. So even if they go individual, that means that there would only be 3 male and 3 female contestants in the finals, which is not going to happen. So there's going to be some non-eliminations, which are
there'll be some non-elimination episodes, like,
but there won't be a purge, probably, which we kind of want.
No double eliminations, I would imagine, which I actually do kind of like double eliminations, but it's just not possible with this format.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that then what they will do, keep them in their pairs, but not both partners going home. It would just be either, hey, you're playing for your ride or die today. It's a guy's elim, do well. You know what I mean? And so maybe that's how they're going to be able to keep these ride or die pairs actually riding for each other.
So. I feel like in Bloodlines, not Bloodlines, in War of the Worlds 1, when they had partners and then like halfway through they switched to individual. That's exactly what they did. Like that's the format they followed, where they had split up, everything was individual, and then obviously just one person went home, which is how Nani went home, and then Turbo went on to win. So I guess like a similar formats they do, but in Bloodlines, didn't they also split up at some point as well? I swear they did. It's been a while.
Come on, Bloodlines is a while ago.
Yeah, but yeah, War of the Worlds 1, like they did a similar format, so gotta be something like that with some non-elimination sprinkled in.
So Michelle, do you remember the 5 words that they had to spell, and did you find them to be difficult? Okay.
No.
Buddy.
I would have gotten this so
Amigo.
quickly.
What else? What were the other three
It was
again?
buddy, mates, amigo, pairs, and squad.
Oh, yes.
It's the fact that people were like, amigo, like literally Jay's catchphrase is amigo. Like he says amigo all the time on his Instagram. Hey, amigos. So like, I knew like as soon as they were like, oh, they're like, what is these letters? And they said the G-A-I, and I already was like, amigo. And then they were like, Jay went to his Spanish heritage, and knew. I was like, of course. But I think a lot of teams got stuck, because they're not as very smart, but when it comes to words, but also because they probably didn't think it would be that word, because it's not a word that they might think it, like they might think, oh, it's a different language. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But to
like,
me,
but what I was saying though is that almost every single team has a Spanish language speaker. You know what I mean? Like not even Spanish. So that amigo should be something that just comes to thought, I would think. Like
it should have been an
Laurel
option.
is fluent in Spanish.
I just feel like I play a lot of Wordle.
Yeah, I love Wordle,
and
I
so
do crosswords, but
I always am like, okay, my vowels here. Okay, what if I have these consonants? Where would I put them in?
How long
does it work like this? Does it work like this? And it would be what?
How long's your Wordle streak?
Honestly, what always happens is I forget one day, or like I'm past midnight. So the highest I've gotten is like
I got to
98 or something.
I got to 90 and I was so irritated.
I was so mad.
Stopped. I just stopped doing it. Like I do Wordle every once in a while now, but like I was like, I have to do my Wordle every day. I don't want to break the streak. And then I broke the streak once and it ended. I was done with Wordle. Crushing. Are you a Wordle fan, Matthew?
I was, like, when it first hit the scene, and I kind of just like stopped for a couple days and could never really get back into it other than the occasional one or two. Oh, they did split up in Bloodlines. Yeah, I remember the split up in Bloodlines, but I can't remember if they did like single eliminations, because I know with Bloodlines in the end they ran the final with their bloodline. So I don't remember how they split it up, if it was
they split it up, I think. Oh, your bloodline was on the opposite team.
Yeah, but what would happen like for the eliminations? Do both bloodlines go home?
I feel like it was just one. It must have been.
But I don't know. They all ran the final together.
I found that format of Bloodlines so weird. Like that's one of the seasons that like I push out of my brain, because it just wasn't very like, it didn't really make a lot of sense and didn't stand out for me, but I'm just kind of forgetting it now, so I could be wrong.
I kind of feel like I remember Dario and his twin brother playing against each other in something. And I think though, actually, if your bloodline lost, then both would go home. And I think that
even if you're on separate teams,
I feel like I can't remember, but I feel like that was what was like the trouble, is that you didn't want your bloodline to be in danger, because if they lose, I'm not remembering fully, but I feel like that was something, right? Because like, so you wouldn't want your bloodline to be the people thrown into elimination, because if they didn't do well, like it sucked for you.
Oh, you know what? I think you're right, because I remember Camilla was like freaking out, like, you're going after my cousin, you're going after me, your sister, you're going after me, and that was the whole plan. Like they wanted Camilla gone, so they put in her weaker sister.
That could amp things up a little bit here on this season.
But I feel like they wouldn't do that here. It would just be single elimination. Like they'd just break up because it's just not, like, again, like not enough episodes, or sorry, too many episodes.
Yeah. Can I make a side note unrelated to this?
Sure.
Was the title of this episode "Come Michelle or High Water"?
Yes, it was.
They just keep getting worse.
We talked about that.
Oh, sorry.
But no, you don't have to apologize. No, it's like we agree. Like it's stupid that they're completely hinting as to what this episode's going to be about, and like we were saying that Bananas does say "come hell or high watered," which is what the actual phrase is. Why couldn't they just let that be the title instead of like tipping us off that Michelle was going to have a heavy hand in this episode? I don't know why they do this. Why? Yes. Okay. So Austin, if your bloodline lost, you went home. Yes. Diana's family is pretty competitive with Wordle. I was too. It's good though. I think Wordle was a good fun last year. I think both people went home. Exactly. Didn't Dario push his brother during a tug of war and they lost?
Yes, yeah, he did. That was amazing. That season is completely horrible. There was a few good moments between that and Jenna and her cousin getting in a fight about their bakery.
Oh my god.
I think that's my favorite challenge fight ever.
Oh man.
So good. So at the end, okay, so we learned that Jay and Michelle do end up beating Horacio and Olivia, even though they made the edit look like Horacio and Olivia were faster. I was like, they seem faster, but I think it's just to kind of lead us astray to think that Michelle and Jay aren't going to win back to back, but they do. Even though Jay wanted Olivia and Horacio to win because they didn't want the power position again. And
so it would have been way better for Jay and Michelle if Olivia and Horacio had won. Like, they were in different heats, so obviously they couldn't like throw it to them or anything like that. But it would have been a good situation for them too, because even though Olivia and Horacio there's a chance they'd throw them in still, I feel like they might try to make a bolder move, or they wouldn't necessarily be the focus. Because they definitely put themselves in such bad position. Are they nothing worse than they already were? Actually, honestly, they were fucked no matter what. So,
well, Matthew, do you agree with Matthew? Because he feels as though Jay and Michelle have redeemed themselves this episode in his eyes.
I mean, it's hard to say. I think that like they made a better decision than they did. If you're going to go for all 4 vet teams, like, it does make sense. And I think if the chance / maybe production had made it so that Laurel and Jack were safe instead, like if there was a chance for that to happen, and there's a chance that Bananas or Casey would have to go in, I think that would have boded so much better for them, and it would have been more pulled off in the big move that they did. So they're just left in an even worse position, I think. But I understand why they made the move for sure.
Oh yeah, I definitely don't think they're like set up well by any means. I just think like in terms of
they're
the
so
TV
bad.
moments, like taking a shot, like if you're gonna like if you're on the outside anyways, like make a fucking move, like do something, like give us something to enjoy.
And also like play the game well, right? Like I know we're
saying.
gonna get to the deliberations and the iconic moments of it from multiple parties, mainly Laurel. But it's like you need to use these in your strategy, and don't be like, we don't know what we're doing yet, and like perpetuate these cycles where people feel like they're safer than they are, and then you're lying to them. These more experienced players understand the dynamic of like, yeah, I'm gonna put you in for this. Like, you know, there's just different ways to play it, and it feels so unconfident that it's like even more annoying as someone who's having to now be one of the nominees. It's like, and you're not even like, you're just
owning
being so
it.
like about it, like the way they behaved, and then Jay getting so affronted and like pissed in that way. Jay has terrible gameplay, and I've loved him. I didn't love him in Survivor, but I loved him on this first 2 seasons of the challenge. And now I'm just like, you're a bad game player and you're bringing Michelle down worse.
Okay. You think that it's his fault. Okay.
No. I'm not saying both bad, but he's making her gameplay even worse. I feel like, I just feel like they're both not great, but she could have, I feel like maybe she could have better strategy with a better partner. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think I agree with you that I don't think that they are good partners for each other. I get that they're ride or die, but strategically, I don't think that they help each other make the best strategic decision for the players that they are and the relationships that they have. I think that I just don't think that it meshes very well at all, because like I get what Jay wants to do and it's good for Jay's game, and I get what Michelle wants to do. It's good for Michelle's game, but for their game together, it's not working because they're pissing off all their people. And so it's annoying and frustrating that they can't seem to figure out how to make both of their strategies work together.
Mhm.
And that would have to do with them like being like, okay, listen, like this is what I can't do. So this is what we need to go and say to them. We need to make these promises to them because we need to keep them for this reason. And then like go to the other people, like go to every person and make some sort of deal or explain to them why they're being put into elimination or whatever, just so that you're on the same page as everybody. And then nobody's going to be surprised and think that you're like a snake because you've been honest and upfront with everybody and you flushed out your reasonings behind it. The fact that they never have a reason why they're doing it and they don't know who they're going to be throwing into the zone, or they say that they don't, it's like, how do you have confidence in wanting to work with them if you don't even know what they don't even know what they're going to do?
Exactly. And then even like the move that they made at the end of the day showed that they made that move out of anger and emotion based on Jordan and Jay's fight.
Right.
Right? Like they weren't going to make that decision. And then they made that decision because of the way Jordan reacted and because of the way Laurel acted. And I think Laurel was a queen in that moment. But exactly. But it's like, it just shows that they were affected by that. Even if that's not the reason they threw them in, it still seems that way from the outside.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for me, it's like clearly like the two of them together are not great at the game, like the social political side of the game. I mean, obviously, like they're proven that they're good physically, so good on them for that. But I, as a fan, I prefer bad gameplay and bad strategy than pussy chicken level 2 that we saw last week. That's what I don't like. When you're going to put in Kim and Colleen and Darrell and Veronica, who have nobody, that's what makes me mad.
For sure.
And like, even like going back the week prior, like Nelson and Nerys like made great decisions, but it was so easy. Like they didn't like, I'd rather the old Nelson come back and throw in Bananas and Jordan, even though it's horrible for his game. Jay and Michelle doing the same. Like Jay and Michelle pissed off everyone last week. And then this week they win power again. They piss off more people, but they pissed off the people in power, which I like. I like when the power gets disrupted. So yeah, not great the way that they handle things, the way that they talk to the teams, the way that they're not really gathering information and leveraging that.
Just panicking and like just shivering, like.
But good TV, and that's what I care about.
Fine. Absolutely. I'm enjoying this season immensely, but I'm critiquing also gameplay. And gameplay wise, they are really bad. So bad. So we see Michelle talking to Amber, and we find out that Michelle is making tons of deals. I just want to know what she gets back in return. She made a 1-week deal apparently with Tori and Devin. And even Amber says you're making too many deals. Amber's saying that, like, you know, Amber has a better. Go ahead.
The dumbest thing about a 1-week deal is you're in power, and now, like, after this 1 week, they don't owe you anything anymore. So not only are you like, you just screwed yourself because now like they don't owe you anything next week. They could easily put you back in, but you're also putting in their closest friend in Anissa and Jordan. You're also voting them in, like you're targeting Jordan and Anissa. So not only do they not owe you anything from the deal, but now they have incentive to go after you. So the one thing I would have done different there if I'm Jay and Michelle for like ultimate chaos and also probably for better strategy is I just put in Tori and Devin instead of Laurel and Jack. Like I know Laurel and Jack are already pissed at you. You're probably not making amends there, but like who gives a fuck? Just put in Tori and Devin. Let them fight. Like let them fight amongst each other.
Exactly. It would have been the ultimate to have all 4 of those teams down there. Yeah. Which might end up happening in the future. We don't know. But I feel like that I agree with you. They made the deal before the challenge. And it's a challenge that Tori and Devin could have won, you know. It's in their wheelhouse. So I get it. But like, it's such a West move. Like Devin's gameplay is so funny in that way. And it's like, he's making 3-week deals here, 2-week deals, 1-week deal. The idea of a 1-week deal to me makes no sense.
It should be
for me. It should be a 2-week deal minimum because it's like, okay, if I win today and I save you, there needs to be something in it for me. So you have to save me next week, and that's the deal. And you're going back on this deal if you don't do that. And then if they win first, sure, then you have to win the next week, but you could always, based on your position, figure out whether or not you need to win that week or not.
Well, like, or win it and keep them safe. But
And
like,
keep them safe. But like at least you're in that position. Like, to make a 1 week deal, a one challenge deal is so absurd. Like, it's making it so obvious that they don't actually intend on working with you. And they're so mad at you. Like, you know, they're on the other side, but they're just saving their side because it's one other team on their side not going in, right? Like Laurel and Jack are kind of like a little bit on their side, but they're not like their core group. Like,
so really, like, this is the wish that we had last week, Willie, is that Jay and Michelle nominated Tori and Devin, Casey and Kenny, Bananas and Nani, and Anissa and Jordan. So no matter what, we were most likely going to have these teams that are always going to save each other be taken out, broken up. And that would have been really, really, really spicy to see if that were the case this episode. You know, if you're going to get everybody mad, you might as well get them like very mad. So
yeah,
and they're all mad regardless. So even Tori and Devin, who you saved, like, they're mad because you sent in Anissa and Jordan. So like, just fucking do what the fans want to see, and like put the big 4 teams
furious. Like, who cares?
It's kind of weird that like Fessel is kind of just skating through this game.
he's just like taking out all the players. Like, he's getting into bed with people and they're going home. Like, that's what he's doing. Maybe that's his superpower.
Weird. He's like this like physical like specimen, and he is not even talked about going in.
And honestly, let's be real, him and Michelle have had some sort of thing at some point.
Yeah, we were talking
but now
about
that
that.
Laurel is, spoiler alert, gone, if he goes to Michelle,
of course he's going to Michelle.
Which, of course, that means she's going to get the kiss of death, and she's going to be next.
Yes.
Which would make sense based on what happened this week if they don't win. And
we were saying that she's most likely to go home for the fact that she's probably going to start cuddling with Fessy.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of need that to happen just because, you know, I love lore and like superstition. And so like, you get in bed with Fessy, you get out of the game. It's hilarious. So please, Michelle, cuddle up to Fessy. Go home. That'd be really hilarious. So we see Michelle and Jay talking to Anissa and Jordan, and they're really talking about like kind of working together, but they don't, like, Jordan's like, hey, we're not like playing tit for tat. We're not trying to come after you. Like, we get it. You had to do this, but we want to work with you. We want to, you know, we don't want to be going after you, but if you keep on coming after us, we're eventually going to want to go after you. And so I thought that they kind of made a little bit of inroads. We hear, you know, I love you. We love each other. I would love you with like Anissa and Michelle, like, love you, girl. Love you. What happened there? Like, was that all just phony on Michelle and Jay's part?
Like the way they were talking to Anissa?
That they just didn't really believe anything that they were saying? Was that them playing the game as just a completely lie? Like, I'm just trying to figure it out because I thought they were kind of on the similar page where they weren't going to be throwing them in.
I thought so too, until it led into the fight.
Well, the fight, yes, but...
And I think it's a combination of that and the fact that they talked to Laurel and Jack after them, I'm pretty sure.
No, Laurel and Jack were first. Laurel and Jack were first in what they showed us in the deliberation. So they maybe could have changed the order, but like from what...
Or just like throughout after, because they're all one after another. And then when they had to really make the decision after that, they thought about the fact that Jordan went crazy and is going to go after them and all that shit. And like, oh, hey, maybe things are repairable with Laurel and Jack, based on the way that Laurel acted in that deliberation. Because it's very different from the way Laurel normally acts.
Oh my God, this is
hilarious. And Jack commenting on it was so amazing.
I laughed.
This is the best thing I've ever seen. I'm like, yes.
The first line that Jack said that I was laughing is he was like talking about like, I'm getting nauseous. Do you guys have any Tums? I thought that was very, very funny. So the people that they're deliberating about obviously are going to be Laurel and Jack. Jay doesn't want to save Bananas anymore. Like, so they're obviously a thought. And so they're thinking maybe it's going to be Casey and Kenny that they're going to throw in. And they do end up doing that. And Casey feels that this is heartless to be throwing in Casey, Bananas, and Nani, Laurel and Jack. And we didn't know who the last team was that they're going to throw in, but it ends up being Anissa and Jordan. After they just had this conversation about not going tit for tat, and if you come for me anymore, we're going to actually come back for you. There's no coming back out of this. So I just didn't understand. I thought that they were actually might have been throwing in like Amber and Chauncey at some point. I think someone in the chat was thinking that.
That's what I thought too.
Because because Amber was getting nervous because it seems like nobody knows what Michelle and Jay are actually going to do, and they don't really stick with their word. So I would thought that like they're going to do something even sillier and do an Amber and Chauncey. You thought
that would have made me absolutely furious. I think I would have turned off the TV.
You would have.
I would have. If they did that after what happened last week, I don't know if I could have watched the end of that episode, because I mean, every team would have thrown in Amber and Chauncey. It's like, unless they pull the dagger, like they're going in. So yeah, I mean, in my notes here, like when we got to the point where it revealed the 4 teams, I just wrote, let's fucking go. Like, let's do this. It's on. So I was very happy when that happened, and like I kind of perked up a bit, because part of me was expecting Jay and Michelle to make a scared move and either put in like an Amber, Chauncey, or Darrell, Veronica, and I couldn't get that thought out of my head until I actually saw the 4 teams that they put up, and I was super pumped.
So Laurel and Jack are talking to them, and Laura's saying like, you know, like you should be putting in a team, like yeah, we're coming after you, but we don't win. Don't put us down there. Like, put in a team that wins, that could actually come after you. And so Laura's like she even says, I get really hot and I do take time. And I was just like, who's this person? Even Jay was like, you know, was commenting on the fact that this was the greatest thing that he's ever seen, and it's fire or something like that. It's something. It's what did I write? It's free. Anyways,
Jack said this is the best thing I've ever watched.
I meant Jack when I said Jay, but yes, say it again. You can tell me. You can say it again.
Yeah, he said,
it's the greatest thing I've ever seen,
and it's free.
And it's free. Oh my, I thought it said tree. I thought it was tree. And it's free. And I was like, Jack, like, I need your confessionals. I think you're really, really funny. Yeah, and like he doesn't recognize that it's really that she would rather nod her own hand than like be this fake and to somebody's face, and it's so true. Like, Laurel does not like being fake. She doesn't like politicking in this way, but she did a decent job. Go Laurel. So the Laurel and Jack really did think that they were going to go and not get any more blood on their hands, and do what Matthew would have shut off the TV for by putting in people that they already put in, and just only piss off one team. And that's also what Casey is basically saying, like, you know, why are you throwing us in? You know, you're getting, I'm upset. So if I go home, you're going to have Nani upset. If Nani goes home, I'm going to be upset. And we're both going to be upset that you put us both in this position. Yep. And so why would you have done that? And they just never really have a good answer. Like, they made a better move than that, but like, I just wish they had better comebacks. Like, what else do they have to do all day other than think about how to make this not sound stupid? Right?
I think there is also a very easy answer. It's like, hey, Nani, Casey, I'm sorry, but we know you two are going to save each other. We're not putting either of you in. So there's a 66% chance that one of the two of you is pulling the sword.
Yeah.
And you'll save each other. We want Laurel and Jack against Anissa and Jordan. If we put in 2 random stray teams, we put those teams at risk. A much greater percent of them going home than you. It's like very clear. And like, Michelle and Jay are smart enough to know that's the reason.
Just say
the
truth.
Yeah, like Willie said, exactly. They just are not owning it, which again makes for good TV, but doesn't help them in the long run, because they're not going to win every single daily.
And they would get more, I think, backing from the audience, the viewers as well, if they made these same decisions. And like, I know Jay like got into that a little bit of a fight with Jordan, but like, get into it a different way. Be like, this is what's going on. Like, you know, when Nani will be like, these are the facts. Like, this is why I'm making this decision. And it's like really intense TV and it's so dramatic. Like, that's what people like to see. So if Michelle like came through the woodwork and like through tears, but it's just like, listen, like, we have to make it for these reasons and like stand her ground.
And no, like she can cry, but there's no quiver in her voice. Just like
exactly.
no
and
quiver.
No backpedaling and stepping back and just saying
No
like,
apologizing.
Yes, no apologizing. Say, I'm with these people. It's clear. You're with those people. It's clear. Are you going to pick me over any of them? No, you're not. You're never going to. You were never going to from the moment you walked in. So
Tough
that's
shit.
my decision. And then people will be like, whoa, epic.
Like, yes. And they'd be like, I respect that.
Yes.
I respect that. Fine.
And they
I
would
respect
still get mad, but it's like, you know, they respect that energy. I know Jordan, like, well, you know, all of them would to a certain degree.
So, but Nani is having their deliberation chat, and Nani is just like basically calls her out. Is like, if Casey goes home, I'm coming for you. And I was like, oh, shit, get Nani mad. I hope Nani gets pissed. So I was hoping that Casey was going to go home just for that reason. And then you see Bananas kind of comforting her, being like, you know, they're doing us a favor, Nani. They're giving us an opportunity to have somebody save us. And so she's like, yeah, I know, but I'm like, I'm still really mad. I'm like, I thought it was amazing that Bananas, we saw the devil in him, like come into his confessional being like, he's playing nice guy, placating Jay, but he is so ready to take him down, which I'm so excited for when it happens, because Jay's gonna be like, I knew it, we shouldn't have kept him around. And like,
did Bananas say he wanted to vomit in Jay's face?
Yeah.
But that's their pros. Like, he reeled it in that way. And so did Laurel. They both were amazing. And I want to see them as a team one day.
Yeah, that could be another ride or die too. That'd be definitely a good duo for sure. A winning pair for sure. That would be very scary. Aneesa and Jordan were obviously pissed because they felt like we did that they had made some sort of arrangement that like they weren't going to be coming after each other anymore. And then they put their name on the board. So Jordan is pissed, and Jordan is like done playing the nice guy. A lot of people in the comments have been saying that Jordan just kind of takes a back seat until someone provokes him. And I think he's provoked. And he's saying to Jay, like, don't say one thing and then do another. It's weak. And Jay did not like being called weak. Don't call me weak. Don't call me weak. And like, Jaren's like, okay, you're weak. And Jaren's just like, so then they leave. They're like, well, let's throw them in that. I'm like, Jay, he got under your skin. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it was the better decision for him to be throwing them directly in. I haven't thought about all like the permutations, but like, I think that if he had kept his cool, it might have been a better outcome for like, and not necessarily throw in Aneesa and Jordan hastily for the fact that Jordan got underneath his skin, because Jordan will come back with a vengeance. And I think that he's more vindictive than like Bananas would be. You know,
100%. And Jordan's not scared of anyone.
No.
It doesn't matter. Like, I mean, obviously, like Jay is not like a super intimidating force or anything, but I mean, Jordan would say the same thing to Fessy or anyone. Doesn't matter their stature. Like, he's not backing down, and he'll come for anyone that comes for him, which is like a great thing about Jordan. Now, I mean, I don't know, like, for Aneesa's sake, if she necessarily is going to love if Jordan is super vindictive all season long, because I'm sure she does not want to keep going into eliminations. But Jordan, Jordan doesn't back down, and that's like one of the best qualities about him.
Doesn't back down. So after all these deliberations, we see Michelle crying and Jay's holding her hand and he's crying and he's like, I'm going to win this for you. Do you believe Jay is going to win this game for Michelle?
That's not how it works.
I know it's not how it works. I don't think that they're going to win.
Hey, I actually wrote this down. This is one of the only notes I took to like mention the moment, which is that awful speech Jay gave after Michelle cried. That speech where he's like in his confessional and he's exactly what you're talking about. It was too much.
Can you reenact any of it
I
for
can't
me?
even remember everything that he said. I just remember him being like, she showed me her heart, and I guess I gotta show her mine too. And through
Crying.
winning this game for her. What?
I'm gonna win it for you.
I'm gonna win it for you. Like, because she's cried like 27 times this season already to you. And what do you mean? Like, it was overwhelming for me. I'm like, am I supposed to feel bad? Like, I do kind of feel bad for Michelle because she's definitely going to be getting like so much of this hate, which is unwarranted, poor choices, maybe strategically, but like,
Still a person. Yeah.
yeah, but
I'm not gonna like giving her any
I
hate
still like
messages.
her. I feel like his personality, Jay, I'm just like, I feel like he's disconnected from reality sometimes, maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
Do you think if they do, like, if Jay and Michelle survive a couple weeks and it does switch to an individual game, do you think either of them have a chance of like saving their standing in the game, or both of them are screwed regardless of format?
I think they're
Regardless
screwed
of
regardless of format. They don't
So
have
you don't
any.
think Michelle could like crawl her way out of this if she splits up from Jay?
She has a better chance than Jay does, but if they're tethered, like they might be playing separately or individually, but like if one goes home, the other goes home, I think that she's gonna go home with him, you know? But I think that she has a better chance of staying longer if depending on the format, obviously.
Mhm.
Bananas and Nani's have a heart to heart, and so it seems as though Bananas is now going to really put in maximum effort to win the season for her. I'm wondering if this was the quote that we needed to hear because Nani is going to win this season. You don't think so?
I don't know. I think tonight, like, I mean, you got a few hints that like maybe this could be Nani's season. Like it was alluded to a few times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still like not super sold on it though. I don't know. Something about it. I can't see Nani winning for some reason. I think it's gonna be more, and it was something I think I mentioned a few weeks back on one of our chats, but it kind of reminds me more of Leroy's last season, where
Mm,
it was very much hyped up. Like, yeah,
mm.
this is Leroy's season. Like, we're dominating this season. And then he gets what he wanted from the season without winning. And I could see that being Nani's story here too, where it's like, I like persevered throughout the season. I fell a little short, but like I had Bananas by my side. I had Casey by my side. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that I didn't win. I'm just happy to be here. That's what I see more than a win.
Okay. All right.
I hope not, but I have to agree with you.
I definitely can see that as the outcome of the season for sure, just having the silver lining, but I could also see her finally winning and also having like, the energy of her mom that's been supporting her, and like she did it for her mom and she did it with her ride or die and she did it with her partner and she was able to do all these things because they're all there supporting her. So I can see that side of the coin as well. So Jessica is agreeing with you, Michelle. This speech was horrible. Is Jay in love with Michelle? It felt weird. I think he might be. He might be. They've had a little thing, I believe. So
Yeah, but he's the one who kind of like, you know, was seeing other people, not her, I think. I don't know for sure though, obviously.
So we'll just mention this next little bit quickly because you probably were cringing, but Fessy kind of peeping some game with Laurel, and he's not trying to be messy Fessy this season. And I was telling Matthew, it didn't really bother me for whatever reason that much.
Well, it wasn't that long of a clip. It feels less.
Is that a hookup point?
I just feel like it feels less gross because Laurel is like a full mature adult woman who, like, as much as I'm sure she's like, he's nice, she also is not an idiot and like has seen all the things he's doing and like knows this is not a long-term thing, and it's very clearly to get her mind off of this guy she actually has a crush on.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels less gross. Like, I'm more annoyed when he's like being all to like every single new young rookie that's around, like it's like that's kind of worse to me. At least with Laurel, I'm like, she's making this choice. He's making it seem like, yeah, she wants me, blah blah blah, but it's like she she can decide. She decided, and that's what's going on.
Yeah,
You know?
you're her plaything for the week to help her. You know, do you
Yeah.
want to get over someone, get under someone else type vibes. So
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that I love about the whole situation is that's how you can tell that Laurel actually had feelings for Horacio, where she was hurt by the fact that, oh, Horacio had a girl back home. Meanwhile, Fessy, the walking mistake, had a girl 2 days ago and she doesn't care. So it's like, yeah, that, like, okay, she actually had a thing for Horacio, didn't
Yeah.
care that Fessy had something with Colleen yesterday. And that's because she had no feelings for Fessy, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Zero. Horacio is a little bit jealous, and this is when I was thinking, Michelle, that worry that the curse of Fessy will mean that Laurel is going to go.
I'm so sad now knowing that.
The curse of Fessy. Michelle's gone next week, probably for this curse. Because she's gonna
She doesn't
get
even
him.
need the curse though. Like she was in a bad. Like the fact that Jay and Michelle won 2 weeks in a row is like a crazy chance. It's really hard to win 2 dailies in a row,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very surprised.
Well, they both have to do with swimming though, so.
And I think it's clear that Bananas was not intending on winning it. And I honestly wonder if Devin was also purposely trying not to put the words together quick enough, because I feel like there's no way he didn't figure that out. And I feel like for him, knowing he had that deal with Jay and Michelle, maybe it was in his best interest to like not have to be in power this week either.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah, I mean, everybody could have thrown it because they probably would rather not get the blood on their hands this week. I think it's like they don't have an enemy yet. And so maybe they're waiting to, now they have people that now they know that they can go and target Jay and Michelle at this point. So sometimes you need to have an enemy in the game to be able to call some shots. So maybe that's what they were kind of waiting for. Now if Devin were to be in power, they don't have to owe anything to anyone at this point. They're just like, you came for me, I'm coming for you. And so yeah, maybe they were holding off because they wanted to have a reason to shoot. So we see Laurel and Nani talking, and they are pissed, obviously, about the situation. And then this is when Michelle comes up to try to talk to him. And that's what I think bothers me about Michelle's gameplay, is that she's wants people to make her feel better about the decisions that they make for the other people's game. And it's like, they're not going to be happy, and they're not going to make you feel good about it.
That is one of my pet peeves about people, is people who try really hard to like, they make a tough decision and then it's like they're trying to get you to make them not feel so bad about this decision. It's like if someone's breaking up with you, but then they're trying to guilt you into like feeling worse for them, that like they're hurting because they're doing this painful thing to you, and it's so hard on them because they're in this position.
It's like,
and it's like, leave me alone. Like
exactly. Like, you deal with your decision that you made. I'll deal with what you did to me. Yeah. I'm not going to make you feel better about it because I'm the one that's actually in the bad position. Absolutely. So she always does that, and they just don't let her get away with that, which I find to be quite hilarious, because Michelle just is like, walks off, and they're just like, why does she do that? Like, why is she here? She makes me so angry. And I feel really bad for Michelle, because I think that she could be a good ally, a good player. I think that she could be really loyal. Obviously, she's a good competitor, but she just doesn't seem to be playing this particular game in a way that makes people want to work and play with her.
Exactly.
And so I don't know what she needs to do, but maybe it's not be partnered with Jay. Like, I'm not sure what it is.
I worry that moving forward in future seasons, she will be in the position of how Wes was for that long period of time, where it's like, no one's going to trust her because of these times. And regardless of her position, she's going to be like, remember when Wes was just getting thrown in every time, like back in like those old seasons? And she's going to have to slowly like crawl her way back to being in people's good books somehow. But I still think she'll keep getting invited back and everything. And like, it's entertaining to watch her for sure.
Yeah. And I think something that might help her is just like getting a couple friends on the cast. I mean, like, bring Natalie Anderson back. That's going to help.
Yes. See, that would have been great. I would have bring Michaela back.
Michaela, Natalie.
Back.
like Tyson, like now that they're in the universe, like bring some of these people in, and then it's gonna help
Take me
Michelle
whenever,
pretty well.
Yeah.
Just like she needs somebody that's very strong strategically to help, that's also strong, that can have some power to like just show her what to do with power, or like when she gets power to be able to bounce ideas off of, because she just doesn't seem to know how to do it effectively.
Yeah, like 10 years ago, Parvati would have been so good on this show. Like
Yes.
7-8 years ago, Parvati would have been perfect if they were casting Survivor back then, because she would not take shit from anyone. She would own her moves, would be good physically.
What a
Same with
dream.
Janelle, like would have been
Yeah.
great.
I haven't even fantasized about those, like from that time period, the epic Survivor people like potentially being on the challenge. Parvati would be number one on the list, 100%.
Of course.
If I'm Michelle, honestly, like I'm calling up Parvati and just saying like, Parvati, what the fuck do I do? Like, how do I own my shit? And like, teach me how to be you, because Parvati is just like, she'd be the best on any reality show. She is just incredible, and this show was made for her. She just was 10 years too late, or 10 years too early.
Yeah, her, I think also Janelle would be super fun. When Janelle was like 25 or 30 coming onto the show, would have been like, she would have teamed up with Parvati because she was a fan at the time as well. They're around the same age. Like that would have been like, that era of people on the challenge would have been so epic. Like, oh, it would so good. So good. So Michelle is still feeling really guilty about Nani and feels like she's a bad person. And I'm just like, just own it, Michelle. Like, you did this. You knew that people are going to be upset with you, especially Nani, who's supposed to be your sister, putting up her against her girlfriend. Like, she's not going to be happy about that. And she's not going to make you feel better about that. So just either deal with it or don't do it. But she cried about it, of course. She's like, the Nani and Casey thing is really fucking me up, and Jay is crying. Oh, this is where he actually had that particular confessional. Anyways, we're into the zone. Everybody has their face on these boards, and they're basically going to be playing dodgeball. So the people that they throw in, so Jay was feeling a bit vindictive. He throws in Anissa and Jordan, and going to the draw, Bananas and Nani draw the safe dagger. And someone in the chat was saying that they think that all of them had the safe dagger on it because we didn't see anybody else pull anything out. What do you think about that conspiracy theory?
I think it was just implied to Bananas and Nani without being said.
Oh, it'd be like
to pick the one right in front of them, because they obviously tell them where to stand, and they got to go first, which always gives you the highest chance. Because if you're not first, you don't even have a chance to pick safe.
Well, yeah,
so
you
they
do.
put them first. They put which is in the best position, and I think they just knew which one to pick. Maybe.
I don't know.
But I could be wrong. Either way,
that's not true. I like to think it's not true.
I like to think it's not true, but honestly, it's Bananas. Like,
yeah, but like, wouldn't the optimal outcome here be like Jordan and Anissa pull safe, they save Bananas and Nani, and then like Casey and Kenny go in? Because does production really care if Casey and Kenny go home? Obviously not, because otherwise we'd be seeing them on the show. So I don't know. I feel like they don't want to lose Jordan and Anissa either, which is why I kind of feel like luck of the draw more than production interference.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they did it, but we did not see all the other blanks daggers, so I can understand why it could be speculated that, hey, we didn't see all the daggers. It's kind of like people are always asking on Big Brother to see like I want to see everybody's chips in that bag. I don't know if we believe you that all those chips are in the bag. So I think it's just whenever we don't see everything, it allows us to like speculate like, is production having a heavy hand here? But I actually don't think that they did anything this time around. So they're playing in your face. As I mentioned, they have to go and carry these like cinder blocks to a table. And when you get them all on, it's going to release a lever that releases a bunch of balls. And they're going to be using these balls to be throwing at the, I don't know, targets with the other castmates' faces on it. One player is going to be throwing and one player is going to be defending. What do you think about this elimination, Michelle?
I liked it. I felt like I wish Laurel had looked and seen that they were doing 4 thingies at once, because that was really smart. And I knew once they started who was going to win because of the previews. So for me, it was just more sad watching it, being like, obviously for the game, I want Jordan and Anissa, I think, to stay. But I was like, obviously, I love Laurel. I've loved Jack so much. And so I was just like stressed watching it, already knowing, kind of felt like a little more gloomy than maybe it would have if I hadn't known. So I just wish I hadn't really known before. But it was sad, but also like triumphant for Jordan.
Yeah, well, Jordan, like how he ends it, he's like, "What did I tell you? What did I say?" And then he throws the last ball. He's, "Thanks, coach."
Yeah, I love the shit talking during the elimination. Like, not even waiting for you to win. It's like, yeah, I know I'm gonna win, so let me talk shit before I throw the ball. Love that.
I mean, he's unleashed a beast in Jordan, which I'm here to see. Jordan just not taking any shit from Jay at this point.
And
He's not. Go ahead.
It's funny hearing like when he was on Bananas podcast and he's talking about how like he felt so like the least prepared he's ever felt for a challenge. And it's like, but when his like beast unleashes, he's just going off. And it's kind of like Turbo, but he knows when to not, you know?
Yeah, he's definitely can hold back a little bit. So we do end up losing Laurel and Jack, which I'm really sad about. Jack's confessionals were getting really good, and like he's really funny. I really love his relationship with Laurel. Laurel wants Jordan to fuck them up, and she's just like, "Can you please?" And Jordan's like, "Yes, I will." Like I was like, "Yes, like vendettas, yes, do it."
I was so happy. I was just, even though I was so sad, but I was like, "Fuck!" Like, get those fuckers out. Like, you need to.
Yeah, they had like a team huddle at the end. It's like, okay, this is the plan. Jay and Michelle, like, they gotta go. Now everyone is just against them. It's that was a really cool moment. You don't really see that often, where like there's 4 people just like discussing what's next. But yeah, Jordan sees blood, and I have a feeling he's gonna succeed in getting them out.
Yeah. I 100% think it's going to be them that does it. I think that they'll make it their
honestly
mission.
But like anyone will.
But I think it's going to be them though. But yes, I agree.
At this point, I even think that there was a prelude of Amber B today saying something's kind of weird with Michelle. Like, I don't know. Like, something just feels off. I feel like she could be convinced to put them in by someone else. Like Bananas could convince her that they were actually going to put them in, or like something, and convince her to put them in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. And then like Olivia and Horacio are the same. Like, I feel like they could be convinced by a Bananas or a
100%.
Tori, Devin, Anissa. Like, someone will be able to get into their heads and be like, yeah, you can put in 3 big teams, but like just throw in Jay and Michelle, lower the blood on your hands, and then Jay and Michelle just go home.
And they can just say to them, like, all the vets will be happy if you do this, that even if you throw in a vet team, they're happy that there's a chance they could go against Jay and Michelle. So
Austin forgot that Laurel and Jordan had a thing. Yeah, recently even. So like he's definitely so good at support. Like they had a recent fling, and then they obviously had the fling from like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So I think that he is going to do that. I think Bananas is going to have a bit of a vendetta here, because when they chose Casey and Kenny to stay, like Bananas was like, Laurel is my best friend. Like this is a terrible position that I'm in right now. Like, but unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go with what my partner wants here. And I think that Bananas is gonna be pissed. He's gonna be like, hey man, like you like. Yes, you gave us the best chance of staying, but you also put us in the worst position with all of our people that we love and care about. So I'm excited to see Michelle and Jay become the ultimate underdogs and try to thwart off of these angry vets. It'll be interesting, I'm sure.
It'll be very entertaining.
100%. So we do get some props from TJ telling Laurel, like, you are one of the goats, and, you know, basically letting her know that she's like one of the best of all time. And
that made me tear up.
yeah, it made her tear up too.
was
She
crying
cries so much. Yeah, I
and
know.
I'm just like, Laurel, I feel for you, Laurel. Like, but you know what? Like, I just really hope that it doesn't deter her from coming back again, because
No, I think she will. I think she's got the.
She'll be back eventually. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of when, I think.
I want her back soon.
Yeah.
And TJ also gives Anissa props for blocking her ass off over there and doing the dodgeball, which was actually pretty impressive, because Laurel really couldn't get a lot of shots in because Anissa was doing a good job blocking, and Jay wasn't doing as well as a job blocking Jordan's balls. So I can't believe that Laurel and Jack are out of this game, but I do think it was a really great episode. Matthew thinks it was the best episode of the season so far. Do you agree with that?
It was definitely one of the most dramatic, for sure.
And I had a lot of notes, so like a lot of things happened.
It was definitely up there.
I thought it was really good. I think
Mhm.
I could have been, maybe the first episode I might have thought was like a little bit more like, wow, but this one was a really good episode. It made me
was a
laugh,
really
it
good
made me cry. Like, yeah, it wasn't necessarily the outcome that I want. Like, it was a full-fledged episode, so it's definitely up there, first or second,
Mhm.
probably for me as
Mhm.
well.
At this point, I mean, I think at this point, who do you see as the winners? I know you mentioned like you think maybe it could be a Nani banana story here. Where are you leaning, Michelle, for winners?
I would put my money at this point on
Devin and Tori.
I would say I could see, a Devin and Tori, or honestly, it's really hard to say. It really depends on who's in the end. But Olivia and Horacio, I think, could stand a pretty good chance if they get to the end.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, they're looking in better and better shape.
The
each
more vets
week.
go, for sure.
And if they end up being like split up or whatever, like just Horacio in general, I don't see him losing in a lot of situations. We don't know what's going to happen, but I'd put my money at this point, honestly, on Tori and Devin or Bananas and Nani. But the storyline is making me ponder that and wonder if that's actually true. It's hard to tell.
I think Jordan's gonna win, not with Anissa. I
Not
think it's gonna become individual, and just like based on the episode counts, like my pure speculation is they're just gonna break up the teams. And I think
how could it be a ride or die season if your ride or dies out the door?
Well, I just think like there's way too many episodes left, and like if they break up the teams, they can't do that same twist where like both partners go home, because it's not going to solve the episode count.
Oh, you'd get a new partner potentially if your partner went home on a girl's day kind of thing.
Well, no, I just think it's going to be like everyone's individual, and it's like guys 1 week, girls 1 week. There's no partners anymore. They're just going to scrap it. I don't know. I'm getting that vibe from Jordan that it's like a full character arc here, and it's going to end with him winning as the good guy.
I don't think so, but I will be shocked and amazed if that does happen.
Yeah, then you'd win a lot of money in Vegas if that's what happens.
I just don't know if the women, like, I could. What if Jordan and Tori won? Like, they just won separately but together. Like, that would be pretty. That would be something.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
No, probably not.
Like, Tori literally, on the podcast, she talks about how she was going into the season thought that that they were maybe gonna get back together, potentially. And so I think based on what's gonna end up like transpiring through the season, it would be crazy if they both won. But I don't know. It would be insane.
Who's our MVP for this episode?
I guess I would say, based on like edit and best moments and stuff, I guess Jordan. We could put our money. I mean, Anissa did really well with like the blocking, and she had some good emotional moments at the beginning where she was like, "Jordan, you're so amazing at everything," but she wasn't really like a big player in the episode.
Jordan's mouth got him into the elimination, and then his physical abilities took him out. Jordan's a good pick.
Who else are there? Who else
Yeah, I
is
mean,
there?
a lot of the people that were not put into elimination like didn't get much airtime.
Yeah.
So it's tough. Like nobody, we didn't get the story of how anyone avoided elimination besides like a brief snippet of like Devin and Tori. But I don't think either of them really deserved MVP here. And like Jay and Michelle, I mean, it's tough. They're very messy. Yeah, I guess Jordan is maybe
the only
best
real person
here.
Maybe. Yeah, it's just Jordan. It's just Jordan. Like, every time I try to think of something, like, no.
Yeah, like Anissa was fine, but like Anissa was good in the elimination. She had a fine episode, but I think Jordan, like coming into the interrogation and like fighting back with Jay, like given that attitude, like that was nice to see. Brought the entertainment, and then obviously dominated as well in the elimination.
Well, that's pretty much it for this episode. We did talk a lot about everything, even though I didn't think that we'd talk for this long, but we did because a lot of stuff went down. So thank you both for being here, to having this little chat about episode 6 and try to figure out how the heck we're going to get to episode 22. Like, a lot's gone on in these 6 episodes, and a lot of people have gone home. What are they going to actually do? It'll be very interesting. Yeah. People want to know, Natalie, if I'm watching the Challenge Australia. I did start watching episode 1 today. I did a Twitch watch party, so as long as it's up there, you can check it out. I'll probably do episode 2 either tomorrow or Friday. I hear it's 3 times a week, so I guess I'll figure out how to watch them 3 times a week. But yeah, I will be watching it, but I won't be recapping it at all. There's too much stuff going on.
I did enjoy it. I watched the first episode as well. I thought it was fun, like very similar vibe to the USA. So yeah, if you can find links, definitely worth a watch, I'd say.
Well, you can watch it on my Twitch now because it's still up there. So
I haven't started it yet, but
it's
fun.
It's fun.
I'm gonna probably watch your Twitch tonight after I watch Survivor, and I will get myself caught up.
Sweet. Well, but it's not cut up, but I haven't done episode 2 yet. But yeah, at least episode 1. So then you can watch episode 2 with me. Yay! Well, thank you both once again. Thank you, everybody here in the chat. You guys are the best. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Like this video, please. Can we get to like 100 likes? It'd be really great for the YouTube algorithm. And I want to know, what do you think, no spoilers, please, that the producers are going to do to solve this 22 episode saga? Like, there's not enough people left. Let me hear all of your theories. Are they bringing back players? Are they just going to have, like, are they splitting up teams into individuals? Are they, like, what are they going to do, and how
are they going to add CT and Cara Maria midway through the game?
What? Could you imagine?
People would riot. Well, I guess Laura was already gone, so she wouldn't be that mad. But yes, I would like to hear all of your thoughts on what could happen. Let's speculate. And we'll talk about it next week. Ciao, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.